Dear students, I'm your new mathematics teacher, Mrs. Ashu Sharma, and I'm going to start with Unit 8 Decimals. I'm going to teach you mathematics from now onwards, and we are going to start Unit 8 Decimals. So let us see what do we mean by decimals. It is the 8th unit of your NCERT book, decimals. So dear students, what do we mean by decimals? Let me first of all tell you what are decimals. It is the another form to represent fractions. Dear students, it is the another form to represent the fractions. You read about the fractions in the previous chapter. So this is the one more form in which we can represent the fractions as decimals. So now to understand the decimals, let us see where does they help us and how do we represent them. Dear students, sometimes we purchase a thing, a quantity. We need to purchase a quantity. For example, if you want to go to a seller shop and want to buy 4.5 kg of sugar. Now 4 is termed as whole number and a half kg. Now to represent that half kg, we need the decimals. Now, to better understand the decimals, let us see the number line. Dear students, here is the number line. You all are aware about the number line. On the number line, we have whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, etc. Right? Now, in between these whole numbers, we have some parts. We have some divisions. Like you can see on your scale also, in between 0 and 1, there are 10 divisions. And that means there are 10 parts. So dear students, to represent the parts, we use decimals. Like this is from 0 to 1. It is considered as 1 unit. This is 1 unit, and this 1 unit carries 10 further parts, right? Now the first part of this division can be written as 1 by 10. We can write the second part as 2 by 10, means 2/10. 1/10 means out of 10 parts, this is covering 1 part. Out of 10 parts, this point covers 2 parts. Similarly, if we represent this line, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means out of 10 divisions. Out of total number of divisions are always written in the denominator, and out of these 10 divisions, this particular division represents the 6th part, right? It represents the 6th part of this 1 unit. Similarly, if we'll move, so we all are aware that if I want to call it as a decimal number, so I can call it as 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 and 0.10 नहीं होता तो वो 1.0 बन जाएगा. Means this, if I want to represent this decimal number, then I will convert this as 1.0, right? This whole number is written as 1.0. Similarly, if we'll take the next unit part, again 1 to 2 means 1 unit is there. Again, it carries 10 divisions. How many divisions are there? 10 division. Now to represent this division, I'll write 1.1, 1.2, 1.8, 1.9 and so on, like this, right? So dear students, decimals helps to represent the fractions. Like if I want to represent this, so I'll write 0.1. It will be written as 0.2. It will be written as 0.3, 0.4, 0.6. Like this, I can represent the fraction in the decimal form. So this is the example. Now, dear students, let us read out these fractions. Like if 1 by 10 is there, it will be written as, it can be written as 0.1, and we will read it as 1/10. We'll read it as 1/10. Means after the decimal, we do not have ones place. We'll directly start with 10th place. TH is there. Then 1 by 100 is written as 0.01, and we'll read it as 1/100th. Again TH is there. 1 by 1000 can be written as 0.001, and we'll read it as 1000th, right? So in this way, 1 by 10,000 can be written as this. So the number of zeros will represent the digits after the decimal. The number of zeros in the denominator, like 3 zeros are there in the denominator, so we will take 3 digits after the decimal. 2 zeros are there in the denominator, will represent 2 digits after the decimal. 1 zero is there, will take 1 digit, right? So in this way, we can use the decimal numbers to represent the fractions. You can see these are the fractions. So the concept of decimal number, is based on the fractions, right? So you can see various decimal numbers here. Various decimal numbers are there, like 5.6, 3.1, 0.7, 9.3, 2.65. We do not call it as 2.65. No, that is wrong. Its pronunciation will be 2.65. Similarly, if you want to pronounce this number, its pronunciation is 0.12. Dear students, the number which is lying on the left hand side of decimal will be taken as whole number, and right hand side of the decimal represent the decimal part, means fraction part, right? For example, if I'll take a decimal number 56.75. So let me tell you, dear students, this is the left hand side of the decimal, and this is right hand side. This is right hand side and this is left hand side of the decimal, right? And this left hand side is the whole number. This is the whole number which is written in this form on the scale or any of the measuring tape. This is whole number, and this complete portion is known as decimal part. This complete part, including the decimal, is known as decimal part. And the left hand side, the whole number is will be called as 56. But when we read the right hand side part, we'll read it as 0.75. If you will read it as 0.75, that will be the wrong pronunciation. You will read it as 56 point. You have to read it as 56.75. So this is the pronunciation. So remember, the left hand side of the decimal is the whole number, whole part, and the right hand side is the decimal part, right? On right hand side, the values decreases. On left hand side, the value increases, right? So in this way, remember these decimal, and this is your hands-on learning. Dear students, before starting the chapter, on the very first page, write down all these points which I have mentioned and give the heading as hands-on learning. Give the heading as hands-on learning. Means these are the basics which you must remember. Okay, and just take an example also, and in that example must mention that this is the whole part, and this is the decimal part, right? So do write all these things in your notebook.